Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Alia Norisa bin Salahuddin and my other two teammates are Saliha Nasuha and Fatin Natra.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Saliha Nasuha binti Syaimi.
Hai, Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatin Natra binti Muhammad Saad.
So in this video, we would like to propose a new general insurance policy that we think is appropriate and suitable to be offered in Malaysia. So our new insurance policy is personal cyber insurance. Okay, for introduction, I will talk about cybercrimes in Malaysia. So, what is cybercrime? Cybercrime is the use of a computer and a network as an instrument to further illegal ends. And in other words, it is a criminal activity that uses technology mainly involving a computer and a network, either as a medium or a target. So, since the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak in 2020 and the implementation of Movement Control Order (MCO), the internet usage has increased drastically in our country as everyone doing everything online. And therefore, from this, people are more exposed to various cyber threats and cyber attacks. Therefore, cybercrimes increase in number as well as other types of cybercrimes such as financial fraud, cyber intrusions, spams, identity theft, cyberbullying, and others. Okay, so next for the problem statement. Okay, the first and the most important problem statement is actually the number of cybercrime cases is increasing in Malaysia by 99.5%, which is 20,805 in 2020 to from 10,426 in 2019. And furthermore, between January and May 2021 alone, 4,615 cybersecurity incidents were reported to the Cybersecurity Malaysia. Okay, so the highest cybercrime cases reported is online fraud. Okay, so in the slide we can see this is the table of the number of fraud and scam reported in 2021 and 2020 and also the losses that our country received from the report. Okay, so we can see here that the number of cases is increasing from 2020, 2002 to 2021, and also the losers also increase from 2020 to 2021. So this show that the fraud and scam report is increasing for the year. Okay, so the second one is scam. Okay, so here I present three scam that is well known in our country, which is the first one is Macau scam. How this Macau scam is actually work? Okay, in Macau scam, the criminals always pretend to be the high-ranking officials, police, VIPs, and even being a magistrate. And the second one is love scam, or it is being called Africa scam. Someone poses as your girlfriend, then defrauds you or your money. The next one is the e-commerce crime, that doing illegal money lending activities. Okay, so the third one is identity theft. Identity theft is mostly conducted through phishing schemes. Okay, phishing schemes is intended to trick recipients of emails into stealing personal information. And this criminal always ask for personal information such as credit card numbers, bank account numbers, login names, and password. And these criminals always targeting internet banking users to obtain financial information from the victims. And these cyber criminals then sell the info and or use it in fraudulent schemes. Okay, the next one is ransomware. Okay, ransomware is actually a computer malware that infiltrates a victim's computer, and then they perform cryptovirology attacks and then demands a ransom to be unlocked. Okay, these cyber criminals can attack and infiltrate through insecure Wi-Fi or unencrypted networks, and also maybe from the weak passwords or improper or neglected app permissions. Okay, the next one is dark web influence. Okay, this dark web is dark web is actually a cybercrime playground that provide illegal services, trade stolen personal information, and also even sell drugs and weapons. And from the nature of the dark web itself, it ensured the criminals' info remain anonymous. And the medium of exchange for the dark web criminals usually e-wallets and also cryptocurrencies. Okay, so the next one is and the most important one is cyberbully. Okay, cyberbully is a form of bullying or persistent harassment or humiliation done in cyberspace through the use of telecommunication and internet technologies. And according to the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, from 2020 to July to 2021, 6,598 online harassment reports has received. And the most shocking one is Malaysia ranks second in Asia for cyberbullying among youth. And actually, the popular usage of social media platforms that has made the cyberbullying and toxic behavior rises. Okay, what is the consequences of cyberbullying? Okay, for the victims, of course, it abuses the victim's mental mind and eventually then contribute to depression and anxiety. And from the cyberbullying research center, it is found that most of suicides that are attracting attention are due to cyberbullying. And this showed that cyberbullying has increased suicide thoughts. Okay, in the view of the perpetrators, the studies also found that they experience a higher rate of loneliness, and due to the lack of love and affection by family, bullying people online is to seek attention from strangers. Okay, so this showed that the cyberbully has a very bad consequences to both perpetrators and also the victims. And all these cybercrimes activities also will give effect to the victims financially and also emotionally and psychologically. And therefore, having a personal cyber insurance product is needed in our country. So next, I would like to pass to Natra to explain the analysis.
Okay, personal cyber insurance is a contract of insurance that an insurer undertakes to indemnify an insured against losses arising from cybercrime. This type of insurance offers a first-party coverage, which covers the policyholder's own losses or damages incurred in responding to a data breach or other cyber incidents. Next, we look at the scope of cover, which comprise of 5 areas. The first one is cyber extortion cover, followed by cyber financial loss, cyber bullying cover, cyber breach of personal information, data restoration cover. Okay, first we will look into the cyber extortion cover. Cyber extortion is when cyber criminals threaten to disable the operations of a target businesses or compromise its confidential data in exchange for money or property by a third party. The policy covers extortion payments arising directly from a cyber extortion threat. Okay, so cyber extortion occurrence, it is valid when a cyber attack is retained by the insured or the insured's family members, and the act is verified by a third-party vendor. Okay, for the extortion payment or expenses, the cost can be to negotiate the removal of threat or malicious software, reimburse loss of legal tender, and the cost of the damaged electronic property. For instance, by clicking on a malicious link on a website, the computer might be accidentally infected by ransomware, which encrypts all the data. So, criminals usually demand ransom money in exchange for them to decrypt the data. Okay, next we will look into cyber financial loss cover. So what is financial loss? It is a loss of funds in personal account or digital wallet or plastic card charges, penalties and interest incurred, also cost for personal document replacement, legal fees or income loss that would have been earned. So with that in mind, the cyber financial loss policy, it can cover financial loss arising directly from a cyber financial loss occurrence. However, the insured must file a report of financial loss to the local law enforcement so that the loss can be verified. Okay, as for the financial loss occurrence, it can be defined as a cyber attack resulted in theft of financial details belonging to the insured or the insured's family members. Meanwhile, for the expenses, it can cover the salary loss due to time off from work and legal fees. So for the unfortunate events, the example can be stolen payment card information, or maybe someone has gained access to financial accounts in order to initiate unauthorized transactions. The third one is cyberbullying cover. Cyberbullying is a form of bullying or harassment using electronic means. Hence, the cyberbullying policy, it will cover the cost for cyberbullying expenses incurred by the insured or the family members of the insured. The occurrence is valid when acts of harassment occur through computer, smartphone, or any similar electronic device, resulting in wrongful termination of employment, false arrest, wrongful discipline, or maybe weakening shock, mental anguish, or mental injury. The insured must be aware that the psychologist who diagnosed the state of the mental health must be registered and approved by the insurance company. Next, we can look into the expenses for cyberbullying. The expenses that can be covered related salary loss, temporary private tutoring expenses, or any school fees if relocation is involved, maybe related temporary relocation expenses and legal fees. For instance, the cost of psychological consultation for PTSD in a bullied child. Next, we have the cyber breach of personal information cover, or easily known as identity theft. Identity theft is an online theft or online modification, alteration, or corruption by a third party of personal information to commit fraud using the insured's identity. It is a criminal activity of obtaining the personal information of another person to use their identity to commit fraud or other crimes. So, the cyber breach of personal information policy, it can cover identity theft expenses arising directly from the activity of identity theft itself. So the expenses covered are legal costs incurred by the insured and the insured's family members, actual lost income that would have been earned, the costs such as for photostating and registering mail postage and sending required documentation, and then the last one is the cost of loan reapplication fees, because the lender had received incorrect credit information due to identity theft. The last one is the data restoration cover. What is data restoration? It refers to the process of retrieving inaccessible or lost or corrupted data from your storage media or files. So the data restoration policy can cover the restoration costs arising directly from a cyber act. The occurrence of cyber act is valid when there is an occurrence of cryptojacking or the fraudulent input exists in the computer system, or the computer itself cannot be accessed or controlled due to the malware or hacking by a third party. The expenses or the costs that can be covered by the policy are for investigating, reconfiguring, repairing any damage to the computer systems, for retrieving or replacing digital assets, or for locating and removing malware from the computer systems. As a quick example of the event, when technical service fees, it is required to locate and remove the virus.
This personal cyber insurance does not include 7 situations in the coverage, which are: the first one is business activities, followed by confidence scams, currency dishonest acts, indirect or consequential loss, infrastructure failure, and lost or stolen plastic card. For business activities, this policy does not cover any loss based upon, arising from, or as a consequences of any activities carried out by policyholder for trade, business, or professional purposes, including any loss connected to an account with financial institution that is used for trade, business, or professional. Next, for confidence scams, this policy does not cover any loss based upon, arising from, or as a consequence of a confidence trick involving fake intentions toward policyholders, such as romantic intention, investment, contract, loan, and the like, gaining policyholder confidence or affection, and then using that goodwill to commit fraud. Next, for currency, this policy does not cover any loss involving unregulated digital currency, unregulated virtual currency, or unregulated cryptocurrency of any kind. Furthermore, for dishonest acts, this policy does not cover any loss based upon, arising from, or as a consequence of any dishonest, criminal, malicious, or fraudulent acts if policyholder willingly participated in or directed such acts. Next, for indirect or consequential loss, this policy does not cover any indirect or consequential loss of any nature except as expressly provided for in this policy. Next, infrastructure failure. This policy does not cover any loss based upon, arising from, or as consequence of any outage in or disruption of electrical power or telecommunications services operated by a third-party provider. Last but not least, this policy does not cover any loss based upon, arising from, or as consequence of lost or stolen plastic cards. In conclusion, cybercrime is a common threat to our digital environment, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, when more people choose to perform their activities online rather than in person. In addition, the drastic rise in internet usage in the country causes more exposure to various cyber threats and attacks. Hence, this personal cyber insurance can protect our internet-based assets, such as laptops and a smartphone, by providing coverage for a variety of cybercrime-related losses. As a result, this personal cyber insurance is a timely solution to protect customers from becoming victims of cybercrime. As cyberbullying has become a more prominent problem in the country, it will take initiative to address the issue of cyberbullying. So, a personal cyber insurance can help policyholders deal with cyberbullying by providing access to resources that can help stop someone from harassing their children online, help them overcome trauma, and make their home a safe place again. It can also assist policyholders in protecting themselves and dealing with the consequences of their children cyberbullying. Of course, our new product will not completely solve the cybercrime problem, but it will help alleviate some of the concerns people have when engaging in online activities. We recognize that assurance and protection are essential in improving Malaysians' quality of life, and we are pleased to introduce this product that meets that need. Additionally, internet users also should remain vigilant and knowledgeable about proper security practices as well as responsible and polite while online. Thus, we believe that this personal cyber insurance is worth and convenient to introduce in Malaysia.